For more, we say hello to CBS MLB writer Julian McWilliams. Julian, this was one of those measuring stick series. Anytime you can share a field with an opponent of this caliber, whether you are the Mets looking at the Dodgers or the Dodgers looking at the Mets, you want to figure something out. What did you learn about these two relative to one another throughout these three games?
I think it's that the Mets feel very comfortable playing the Dodgers. I mean, look, they played them well in the playoffs last year. They certainly played them better than the Yankees did. And if you look at that, you know, with Mark Vientos, you know, now you have Brett Beatty a part of the mix. You know, their pitching has been stellar too. You know, David Peterson went out last night, and they had to, after a long, long night on a Friday night, you know, Mendoza said, hey, we need you to go 6 or 7, and he gave him that exactly. So it's a team that I think feels very, very confident, and they should be confident because Juan Soto hasn't gotten going yet, and that's the scary part for me.
Yeah, we're going to go on Soto here for a bit because for all that's good and the warm, fuzzy feelings Met fans should be having right now, there is that long-term investment in a player that's not returning on investment just yet. 2 for 14 in this series. Maybe let's focus on that big 2-run double on Saturday. Felt like a moment where we could all exhale. Follows it by going 0 for here on Sunday. Where are you, right now on Soto in terms of breaking out, breaking through, and being the player we know he is?
He'll be fine, right? Like, this is what this guy's done his entire career. He's hit everywhere he's went. I know he had, you know, a down year maybe in San Diego, but he still had an OPS above north of 800, you know, probably pushing 900. So I think you're looking at a guy that's trying to still get comfortable, still trying to find his footing. This is the first place where I think he's had to be the guy. And I know Lindor's the leader of that team, but this guy is the reason why people come out to watch him play.
Yeah.
In New York, it was, with the Yankees, it was Judge. He can hide behind Judge a little bit. He can hide behind, you know, the brand of the Yankees a little bit. But here, we gave you the money, we gave you the suite. Hey, you got to produce, and it's a different type of feeling right now.
Yeah, there is a pressure that comes along with it, one that I'm sure skill set is there. He will meet eventually. Some moments in this series that have you feeling a little bit better about Juan Soto. Made a nice catch in the outfield here on Sunday as well. About $1 billion+, far beyond it actually, on that baseball field between just two players. In related news, Shohei Ohtani soon going to perform that magic act to become 2 men again. Through 22 pitches across 5 simulated plate appearances off the mound earlier on Sunday. On track to return to the rotation after the All-Star break. We're really just weighing risk against reward here, Julian. How do the Dodgers best handle this talent, this skill set that's so unique, knowing what he possesses at the plate and what he did for them a year ago in a title run? To add more to it to the mound, what does that balance look like in your eyes?
I think he has to be on the pitch limit. I mean, I think there's no way around it. If you look at even his career, he's averaged about what, from the time he started, probably like 10 or 11 starts a year. So you're looking at that, and you're looking at the injury history, 2-time Tommy John guy. You don't want to risk that. You want to have him ready for the playoffs. And I think when it comes playoff time, hey, you got to let him loose a little bit. Fine, then do that to get a championship. But right now, the guy hasn't pitched in over 2 years. Again, 2 Tommy Johns.
Yeah.
It's a little scary going into that situation.
Necessity being the word that comes to mind for the Dodgers. How necessary is Shohei Ohtani in this rotation when we are talking October baseball?
Oh, he's extremely necessary. I mean, if you look at the Dodgers right now, this is a story for another day. Like, they have 14 guys on the IL that are pitchers. 6 of them, including Ohtani, are starters. So they have a starting issue, right? Blake Snell is on the IL. Tyler Glasnow's on the IL. We don't know when those guys are coming back. So you have Ohtani coming back into the mix. He's very, very crucial to their success because their pitching staff has not been good as the season has progressed.
Bats weren't there on Sunday as well. Ohtani, the only run support. Someday soon, he'll be the only run support for Ohtani. It's a beautiful game. He's a beautiful player. A beautiful series between these two, and it goes the way of the New York Mets. Julian, thank you.
Talking baseball as we head to Memorial Day. Russ Thaler here with Julian McWilliams, national baseball writer for CBS Sports. And not only Tarek Skubal, but you got the Detroit Tigers. Best record in the American League. And I feel like not many people are talking about it that much. One, because they're in the Central. 2, because the Yankees are also playing well. But how real are the Tigers at this point?
I think they're very real in terms of, you know, one of the best teams in baseball. I think even dating back to last year when they went on that little run. I know they lost to the Houston Astros, they beat the Houston Astros in the playoffs, and I think that was sort of the launch pad for this team. Now you look at, they have Javi Baez playing well, they have Gleyber Torres playing well, who was sort of a nuisance in the Yankees locker room. Everybody said, oh, he's done, he can't play anymore, he's lazy, he can't run. And then A.J. Hinch, Nobody's talking about him a lot. Like, that's one of, I think, the best manager in the big leagues, just the way he's to be able to get a lot out of his guys. I mean, you look up and down the lineup. Riley Green is a guy that you're looking at and saying, okay, he's a guy that's an all-star. He's a premier player. Tariq Skubal, that's a guy that's the Cy Young Award winner. He's going to probably win again, as you said. And the energy in Detroit is just different now. I was there. And it's a place where it's a great place to watch a baseball game, and I think it's because has a lot to do with what this team has done to this point, and they've just been winning.
Detroit 34-20 after Sunday's games. The Yankees right there at 32-20. Both teams winning on Sunday. Yankees in Colorado with a win over the Rockies. Now they took 2 of 3 there. Aaron Judge 2 for 4. Dude's batting .397. He's been flirting with .400 all season long, and yet I feel like we're not appreciating sort of the greatness of Aaron Judge in the way we should be, are we?
No, I remember last year, Luis Ariz, when he was hitting .400. So imagine Aaron Judge. He's 6'8", right? He's on pace to hit 40 to 50 homers, and he's batting nearly .400. Look, this was a guy when he first came up, I thought it was, okay, he's probably going to hit 250, 260, take his 40 home runs a year, and you'll take that. That's a great player. But the way he's been able to tap into his power, the way he's been able to tap into not striking out as much, the way he's been able to control the strike zone, the way he's been able to have being a better bat-to-ball guy, I think that bodes well for this team. And as their offense goes, as he goes, their offense goes. And he's a huge, huge part of the reason why they're here right now.
Aaron Judge. I think because of Shohei Ohtani, we don't see it as much. But that dude, man, if he could hit .400, that'd be incredible. He's right there. I'm going right into your strike zone here. Boston Red Sox, beat writer, Boston Globe for 6 years with the Red Sox. Bregman goes down with the quad. Now Boston's dipping into a prospect pool that is pretty good. But where are the Red Sox right now, organizationally?
They're an organization that lacks communication from top to bottom, right? You look at the Rafael Devers situation where, you know, the first they botched it with him playing third base, and they said, no, he's not going to play third base, and they didn't even communicate with him that they were going to go with Alex Bregman at third base. Now, Alex Bregman is a better third baseman than Rafael Devers. Let's make that clear. He's a Gold Glove third baseman. Rafael Devers has led the majors in errors, I believe, the last 7 or 8 years at third base. So he's a better DH. But then you look at the first base situation. He refuses to move to first base. This has all been enabled by the organization. Now you have Bregman who goes down. You're dipping into that pool. And I think people, and Red Sox fans in particular, underestimate how hard it is for guys to come up here and do well in the major leagues. It's the big leagues. We saw Jackson Holliday struggle. We saw Jason Dominguez struggle. We saw Christian Campbell, a prospect of theirs, has struggled now. He started off hot and struggled. So there's rare guys in the league that you can look at, say a Bobby Witt Jr. or a Mookie Betts or a Fernando Tatis, who can come up and compete right away. That rarely happens. Guys go through that struggle. And so if you're leaning on those guys to get you to the playoffs, that's a bad recipe.
Margins are thin. Look at the AL East from a year ago. Look at the AL East now. Not nearly as deep. The O's have fallen off a cliff. Turn our attention to the National League. A little bit the same in the National League East. The Braves didn't get off to the start that I think people might have expected them to. But goodness me, things seem to be coming together. Ronald Acuna Jr. might have a lot to do with that. Dude missed over a year with a knee injury, comes back, hits a couple of bombs. He's thrown guys out from the outfield. What has Acuna's return meant to this Braves lineup?
He's the spark plug to this team. I believe as they go, he goes. I mean, as he goes, they go. Similar to Judge for the Yankees, right? I think you're looking at a guy who's, from a talent perspective, probably arguably the most talented guy in the league next to Ohtani, right? You're talking about a guy who can hit 30-plus homers and steal 70-plus bags. There's a rare amount of people that can do that, and plus hit over 300, plus has an arm. He's a 5-tool player in every way. Now, the key for the Braves, I think, is they're going to have to get a little bit more consistent in staying above 500. But the way they've been able to creep up after starting 0-8, 0-9 to the season is really good. And the fact that they have both him and Spencer Strider back in the fold, I think this is a team that's gonna make a run in the playoffs. And they were my World Series pick.
Wow.
So I still have them making the World Series, and I'm still sticking with my pick.
Yeah, with the Dodgers, and you got the Braves, and you're also talking about the Phillies. Look, Memorial Day's early, but it's one of these like markers that we all look to in Major League Baseball. We'll do it again at the All-Star break, and we'll probably do it again at the beginning of September. But the Phillies just had a 9-game winning streak snapped by the A's of all teams. But look, you just said the Braves are your World Series team. The Dodgers were everybody's favorite coming into the season. Where does Philly lie in all of this?
They're right there. And Dave Dombrowski, you know, old friend of Boston, who's a GM of the Red Sox, he's not scared to go out there and get guys, right? I think you have a guy like Jesus Luzardo, who he traded for, with the guy who came into this game with a sub-4, sub-2 ERA. He's one of the best pitchers in the big leagues. Zach Wheeler, another guy. You know, you have Bryce Harper, Nick Castellanos, Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, who suddenly doesn't just, he's not all of a sudden a guy that's hitting 180 with 30 to 40 home runs. No, he's hitting like 260 and has 18 home runs on the year. That's a huge part of this lineup. And I think if there's a year for the Phillies to get it done with all sort of the parity that you're seeing in the league now, I think it's this year.
Look, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're only at Memorial Day, but we're already starting to see those teams bubble to the surface, and so much is going to happen between now and the fall. Julian McWilliams, it is great to have you on the team. That is CBS Sports national baseball writer. I'm sure we're going to be seeing a lot of you coming up in the season. Thanks a lot, man. And here's a look at the current odds to win it all, and it's still the Dodgers by a good margin with the shortest odds to win the World Series, followed by the Yankees, and there are the Phillies, and the Mets are still around there. But those teams that Julian was talking about, Braves, plus 1,400 right now. Just think about it. Just saying.